Hey y'all, it's Kason and welcome to Happy Herping. Hey guys, welcome. And as you most likely know, we are doing a Crested Gecko Care guide today. Guys, the first subject we're going to be covering is the terrarium and setup for the Crested Gecko. So Crested Geckos, don't worry, always fine, okay. They're very jumpy, by the way, if you can tell. So Crested Geckos are arboreal, which means that they mostly like to stay up in the trees. So you want a terrarium that is more up and down than it is side to side. I had to put him up. So they like taller terrariums. My terrarium right now for him, because he's smaller, is an 18 by 18 by 24. So I will show you what that looks like in a second. But as they get older, you want to upgrade to like a 20 by 20 by 36. For when doing Crested Geckos, you want to have a lot of like branches and leaves and higher places for them to go, so that they can also have a heat gradient, because if it's warmer like in the summer, my Crested Gecko likes to stay lower in the terrarium versus in the winter where he's usually up towards the top. So you want to provide them with that option. So another thing about Crested Gecko setups is you want to have hides and like places for them to hide. So I have like a coconut hanging thing at the top of the terrarium, and then I have like a half log at the bottom. So every once in a while he used to have log, but he's usually in the coconut. But you want to give them like more than one place to hide so that they can feel safe wherever they are. Another important part of the terrarium is the substrate. So for my Cresty, I used a mix of Zoomed Eco Earth, which I'll put one up here. And then I also used Repti soil, which is also Zoomed. And then I mixed a tiny bit of sand, but you don't have to do the sand. I just did that because, I don't know, it made it look better. Another important part of your terrarium, which goes along maybe with terrarium maintenance, but it needs to be very moist, which is part of why you use those substrates. They hold in moisture well. So whenever you spray down the terrarium, spray the substrate too, so that it can stay moist throughout the day. And I spray twice a day, in the morning and at night. And I always keep one of these in my terrarium to see how moist it is, and it will tell you the humidity all the time. So you should be like from here to here all the time. It just depends, but like in the middle of the day, it'll go like more up here, but whenever you miss it, should be down here. Next thing we're going to talk about is their diets. Crested geckos need a mix of insects and fruit for their diet. For the fruit portion of their diet, you should get a mix that you can find at most pet stores, and even you can find like small cups of it at Walmart, but it'll just be Crested Gecko mix. I usually use Pangea mix, and you just put that in with some water and mix it up, and it'll be like a smoothie consistency. And then they will smell it and go to it, and like it can sit out for like a whole day, and it'll usually be like gone by then. And you should put that, you can do it in small portions, like in the feeding dish, where you can just mix a little bit of the powder with water, or you can do it in like a bottle, or like, you know, lots of things. I usually like to do mine in larger portions and then squirt it anywhere. The insect portion, it is what it is, like crickets. I get those just from like Petco or whatever, and throw them in there, and he eats them. They're in there right now, and they're quite loud. But yeah, so just crickets, dubia roaches, hornworms, anything. Next, we're going to talk about handling. So Crested Geckos are obviously handleable, but to an extent. So these aren't like bearded dragons. They don't want to be held all the time. And they're very, like, they move a lot. It's like, with the bearded dragon, you could just sit them on your shoulder and they'll sit there for like however long, because they're very chill animals. These ones like to climb, they like to jump, as you can see. And they will keep moving, and they will jump on the floor sometimes. And I've had him jump on my wall and everything. But so if you're not scared of him jumping on you or anything, then it'll be fine. But I would say do not handle them for like the first 2 weeks after you get them, because it'll be a lot of stress. And they also will, possibly, will drop their tails. As you see, mine still has his tail, but lots of crested geckos, they fall whenever they feel endangered and they do not grow back. So don't freak out if your crested gecko's tail falls off. It's completely normal. Okay, now I'm just going to talk a little bit about lighting. So for crested geckos, it's really not that... As I was saying before, he pretended to jump on my floor, like I said he would. Crested geckos really don't need that much lighting or temperature control. For my crested gecko, I use a daylight, which is like, just like, you'll see it at PetSmart. It's just like daylight, it's blue, and then you just put it in a normal bulb holder and then just stick it on there. And then I use UVB, but UVB is optional. If you're gonna do UVB, I'd recommend starting off like when they're smaller, because you don't want to just like throw UVB at them when they're 10 years old. So yeah, the lighting isn't that bad, and the temperature just needs to be like around 75 degrees. It's like I keep it warmer in my room, and there's like no temperature control, and he's been fine for the 2 years that he's been. Okay, now I'm just going to show you the setup in here. So this is going to be changed very soon. There will be a video on that. I did have a couple live plants, but this is not a bioactive terrarium yet. But so I have just some fake plants. He likes to hide in here a lot. These are his two hides. This is usually taller, but I kind of lowered it the other day because it was like falling weird. Then I have like some branches. There's a lot of crickets in here right now. They're all up at the top, and there's like a couple. He rarely goes in here, but he will sometimes. Like one of his new favorite spots, he likes to jump from here and then just lay here. But there he is. He's hiding in the corner because, I don't know, he's camera shy or something. But yeah, this is the setup, and I keep it very moist. As you can see, the walls are wet. I haven't sprayed it in a while. So yeah, and then I will just show you how I spray it down and everything. When I spray down the terrarium, I always start by spraying the bottom to keep it moist. I also have moss in here because that also helps with the humidity and everything. Then I'll spray it on the leaves so that he can drink of it. Oh, they do not need water dishes. Well, it's not hard to put one in there, but they drink off of their eyes and the leaves. So make sure you want to get the leaves really wet. And then he's leaving because he doesn't like getting wet that much, but you want to spray some near them. And then I usually do it up here at the top of this so that it kind of drips down, because he'll drink off this. It's like his drinking bowl. So yeah, and then I just do general sprays. That's all for the terrarium setup. Overall, crested geckos are great pets, even for beginners, if you do your research. Thanks for watching. Happy herping. Goodbye.